What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ari Teaches Drums and another episode of my Fundamentals series. In today's video, we are zeroing in on the 16th note timing 4-2-1. This is different than the 4-2-1 accent grid, which I did in a recent video, and it's one of the absolute best exercises here for developing control of your timing, alternating legato strokes, and downstrokes when playing 16th notes. If you've ever struggled with keeping your hands even, locking in with the metronome, or if you're just interested in building your chops more, then this one's for you. And if you've been enjoying the series, please do like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. All right, let's break it down. So what is the 16th note timing 4-2-1 pattern? Well, it's a timing exercise in the 4-2-1 format. So what that means is that in the first part of the exercise, each pattern will be played 4 times. So we're gonna take this rhythm, which is 1 E end, and we're gonna play that 4 times. 1 E end, 2 E end, 3 E end, 4 E end. And then in measure 2, we're gonna shift where that 16th note is placed. So then we're gonna have an 8th note on beat 1, and then 2 16th notes on the and the So 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. And then in measure 3, we shift that 16th note yet again, and then we have 1 E, a 2 E, a 3 E, a 4 E, And last but not least, the 4th pattern is measure 4, where we have a 16th rest on the downbeats. So we have rest E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. There's a couple different ways you could approach this exercise technique-wise, but the way I've always been taught and the way I'll show you here is that when you have a constant rhythm on one certain hand, you're gonna just play legato strokes. So for example, the first 2 measures, the right hand is just playing legato strokes, right? Because it's just 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, right? So if I put my left hand on my leg, you can see how the right hand part is just constant wrist rotation, and that way I can just play with legato strokes and not impede the motion of the stick, allow it to just bounce like a basketball. Now with the left hand, it's a different story because the right hand's playing constant legatos, but it would look and feel a little awkward if I allow that left hand to be legato. So it would look like this. Now that's one way you could play it, but a really great challenge with this, which again, this is the way I was taught on this exercise, is the left hand notes should be downstrokes. So that what that means is you'll rotate just like you're playing a legato stroke, but instead of allowing that stick to rebound all the way back up, at the bottom of the motion, you're going to simply let your hand stop at the bottom, and that's gonna stop the motion of the stick. Now it doesn't mean I'm pressing, it doesn't mean anything like that, but it just means I'm rotating and then stopping the stick, keeping it from bouncing back up. If you're new to this downstrokes concept, I encourage you to go to my channel, and I think it's like episode 2 or 3, I covered downstrokes. So this first measure should look like this, and let's play it with the met. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll notice as I'm doing that, I'm not allowing that left hand to bounce all the way up like I am the right hand. The right hand's gotta stay constant. Just constant 8th notes. And my left hand is going 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E, and it's just staying at the bottom until I need to rotate again for the next note. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2. Okay, measure 2 is the same idea, but now the left hand, instead of the left hand being on the E count, the left hand is now on the So we have 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. So let's try that measure. Still keeping that downstroke concept for the left hand. Measure 2, 2, ready, and go. Very important, you'll notice I'm practicing with a metronome that has a 16th note subdivision. So that way I can really listen. I encourage you guys even to get headphones or earphones and have that met with the subdivision right in your ears so you can listen closely to if your rhythms are lining exactly up with that click. All right, and then measure 3 Now, the right hand's gonna be a downstroke, and the left hands are playing legatos on the E and the So we have 1E, a 2E, a 3E, a 4E, And you can see how that left hand is constant. 1E, a 2E, a 3E, a 4E, All right, so let's play that third measure. 1, 2. All right, now the tricky thing here on the last measure is that we don't have a downbeat note at all, which is, if this is new for you, this is gonna feel very foreign because we're so used to playing rhythms on the downbeats, but here we have to actually play every single 16th note partial except for the downbeat. So we have 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. And again, in this fourth measure, the left hands are the legato strokes because you can see 1 E and a, 2 E, E. And if you're playing this exercise right hand lead, meaning you're starting with the right hand on the first note, the left hand's always going to be on the E and the no matter what, because they're alternating. So the right hand part's always gonna be on either the downbeats, like 1, 2, 3, or 4, and then the and counts, 1 and 2 and. So you can start to kind of compartmentalize in your head and figure out and feel where exactly each hand needs to land. All right, let's try the whole first line, so the 4 section, let's do it. And right now we're at 100 beats per minute, but if this is difficult for you, I encourage you to pause the video here and go even slower with your own metronome. Take it as slow as you need to figure this out and get it down in your hands. All right, here we go. One more time. All right, cool. Now the 2 section, you've learned each pattern, but now we just are gonna cut it each one in half. So we're gonna play that 1 E and 2 E and only twice, and then we have the 1 and a 2 and a now within that first measure, so that would actually occur on 3 and 4. So we have 1 E and 2 E and 3 and a 4 and a 1. And then we go to the third pattern, which is 1 E, a 2 E, and then rest E and a, 4 E and a 1. Because we've cut each pattern in half, we're gonna repeat the 2s twice. All right, let's give it a try. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and a 4 and a 1 E, a 2 E, E and a 1 E and 2 E and 3 and a 4 and a 1 E, a 2 E, E and a 1. One more time, no counting. And throughout all of this, I would pay attention to making sure that your wrist is the dominant rotational point. So you don't want to be mostly using arm, and you don't want to be mostly using finger, otherwise it gets very flappy. I would encourage you to use mostly wrist through all these patterns. Okay, so quick checkpoint. Let's try the 4s and the 2 section together. Let's do it. This is how I would personally chunk it if I was learning this, and I would even take smaller chunks, but we're kind of speeding it up here just for the sake of the video. Let's play through the 4s and the 2 section. And something you should listen for as well is make sure you're listening for, is my right hand dynamic and sound the same volume as my left hand? And so if you're getting something like this, that means probably you're not rotating enough for your left hand, or your right hand, you're overplaying your right hand. Try to balance everything out from left to right. And you also don't want this, of course, by the same token. You want to even out your sound. All right, the 1 section. So this is where we take each pattern and play it only 1 time, and then we repeat that entire idea 4 times, so we have 4 measures total. So we're gonna have 1 E and 2 and a 3 E, E and a 1. And we simply repeat that pattern. 1 E and 2 and a 3 E, E and a 1. The downstroke idea still applies through all of this stuff, guys. So you want to pay attention to after the first 2 beats here, 1 E and 2 and a 3. Starting on beat 3, the right hand's going to be a downstroke. 3 E, E and a 1, right? It's a downstroke. And the left hand's going to be downstrokes through the first 2 beats. 1 E and 2 and a. All right, let's play through the 1 section. Here we go. All right, let's play through all of 16th note 4-2-1 timing. Let's do it. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me for yet another episode of RE Teaches Drums. I hope you found this video helpful. I really encourage you guys to practice this exercise. It seriously helped me a lot as I was growing as a young drummer to improve my 16th note timing and to understand where the placement of hands goes and kind of switching between legato strokes and downstrokes. It's such a key ability in drumming to be able to do that. So I encourage you guys to keep practicing this one. As always, if you found the video helpful, please don't forget to drop a comment to let me know what you found interesting or helpful, and subscribe for more drumming content. All right, guys, till next time, Ari Schiller out.